Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name's Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 9 of Pentacles. Wow, first thought comes to my mind, money and abundance. Okay, this is the card of gain. I think that you're somebody who is really traveling a road, right, of prosperity. I think you're living a successful life. And I feel like this is the card of progress, the visible sign of progress, which very often is us seeing the line go up and to the right. Okay, you're seeing the number increase. Right? You're seeing things kind of, you're getting that confirmation that things are going in the right direction. Whether your goals are health or wealth, right? Whether this is a physical thing or a financial thing, okay? You're experiencing progress. Things are getting better. I want you to claim this right now. Claim this gain. Put in the comments, I accept, okay? And a big shout out to everybody that's got the incense going right now as they're watching this. This is the card of gain and progress on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. I think this is something happening in the physical world that's increasing your abundance. I feel like there's an inflow of like money coming in. That is doing a lot for your mental, emotional world. And it's also kind of, it's something confirming on the creative and spiritual plane. Okay, we need some context around this card. Let's see where this is coming from, what it's about, what it's doing for you. This is good. Let's see what else is good today. But we have a Knight of Swords now. We have a 5 of Swords, interestingly, a Queen of Swords, a Hierophant, and a 5 of Cups. Okay, well, what I think this is something that you kind of already, you already thought was a loss. Like you already had written it off, okay? Whatever this influx of money is, I feel like it's kind of coming as a surprise. Because I think that it's tied to something that you already finished, but now you're realizing that it wasn't done yet. You're getting kind of more. It's almost like royalties or something, you know what I mean? Even though you've already kind of thought it was done and over with, and maybe you thought like it wasn't going to sell or it wasn't going to work, or it's like a refund that you never thought you were going to get. But then, surprise, here comes this message coming in that's saying, hey, here's a little bit extra for you, okay? So I think that this influx of money, this visible sign of progress, is really going to relieve a lot of stress that you're feeling now, probably in that realm, that financial realm. There's already stress, right? And so this is going to alleviate that stress point, all right? It's going to allow you to, I don't know, maybe catch up on a bill, catch up on rent, or it's just, it's adding to the pot for something else, but it's really coming at like a crucial moment for you, okay? Let's do the path of the serpent, the Emperor, the Magician, the 2 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. Yeah, you've already kind of, gotten sad over it. You already said, oh man, it didn't work. Oh shucks, But this is a surprise, okay? And I think the bigger message here is that your work continues to provide for you even after you've moved on from it. Because this is an ending. But this is like, wait, nope. It's not done yet, okay? So I think something that you thought was already as kind of like as profitable as it was going to be, and that was it, I think it's like it's coming back and saying, no, here's a little bit more. So I don't know, if it almost feels like a refund. It kind of feels like some kind of a royalty or some kind of like you weren't paid enough money for something, and so you're getting a check for the balance, and you're like, whoa, okay, perfect timing, you know. But I think it's really it's allowing you to feel that kind of like love and appreciation, okay. And Spirit's saying that this is just the beginning of recognizing like your true value and your true worth. Because I kind of like it almost feels as if Spirit's kind of like guiding you. You know, that even when you're in this kind of sadness and stress and defeat, disappointment mode, Spirit's saying, don't worry, I got you. You know, I think this is really coming at a crucial time for you. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and it's going to be put right over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments section beneath the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies. No fire, except, of course, for our Emperor, a very fiery card. We do see water and water. We do see some air cards. Well, the three water cards. And our 3 air cards. And then the earth cards, right? So there's, let me make sure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I counted right. There's 3 air and 3 water. So that's the heart and the mind that are kind of communicating together, you know? And I think that in your mind, you kind of wrote something off as like, well, it's already done. It's not going to bring in any kind of money. It's whatever it was producing is over. You know, it's kind of like, that's as much as it can provide. And then I think that you kind of like, you started to kind of adjust how you feel. You started to kind of come to terms with that emotionally. But then I feel that there's this like real celebration coming. Like there's really like a turn of fate. I feel like it's a big shift that's happening right now because of this. And of course, our magician in the environment is kind of showing that commerce, transaction that may in some way be related to your art or something that you have created. I don't know if this is like a business thing or if it's, I don't know what it is exactly. But the Knight of Swords is energy coming in. This is, to me, feels like a message, a phone call. It's a surprise kind of inflow of this very abundant physical energy. Okay, so to me it feels like it is of a financial nature. And this abundance coming in is something very unexpected. It's a surprise kind of message from somebody, an unexpected email or a letter in the mail or something like this, right? That's tied to something, again, that you thought was over and done with. The knight, right? All the knights of the tarot are cards of beginning. Okay, kind of how something is beginning. And to me, this feels like the beginning of something that you weren't expecting. And so not only is this the return of something from the past that's here to like give you more money, really, but it's something that I think is going to open up a kind of more doorways for you. And I think really just that doorway of realizing that, hey, what you produce really does have value. And you really can, like, you know what you're doing, that you have some sort of, I don't know if it's expertise or some sort of like value, like what you can do or what you know, whether it's artistic or it's business or it's whatever, what you can do is worth getting paid for. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of referencing our Hierophant up here. We're the Hierophant and the Magician. You have the skill or the talent or whatever it is that deserves to be paid. Okay? And so this is really a very professional kind of thing. I feel like you're having that realization that, wow, you really are good enough at this that you can charge people money for it. It's like you're playing guitar or something, and it's just a hobby and whatever. Then you realize that someone's willing to pay you to play guitar, you know, or to pay you to do whatever it is that you do. And I think that is really that's a wonderful, like, kind of step up. You know, not just because we need the money, which I mean, who couldn't use a little extra money? But I think it's just that, it's that confidence maybe that it gives you, that, wow, like, you're somebody that people, you know, are willing to pay to see, or to have you work for their company, or to come back and say, hey, we didn't, you know, we didn't pay you enough, here's the money we owe you. So it really makes you feel appreciated and respected, you know, and I like that. And I think that fits in here very, very good. It might be coming through a Libra person. There might be an older male energy that's coming through that is, I don't know, giving you some kind of back pay, or I don't know what it is exactly. Let me know if you have an idea of what this could be for you. Okay. But this is a message coming in that I think at first you're not going to believe it. It almost feels like it's too good to be true. You're almost suspicious of it. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. Are you sure you got the right person? Are you sure you're like calling the right, you know, the right Sagittarius? Because it's very unexpected. Okay. But it is, it's definitely pushing you further in the direction that you want to go. Yeah. And I think that it really kind of initiates a new path. Okay. And so it might wake you up to this realization that, hey, maybe you could do more of this. Maybe you can do this for a living. Like, maybe this is part of the path you're meant to take. Okay. Down beneath the surface, though, we've got a problem. We've got a Five of Swords. This is a card of defeat. First of all, this is the card that says, when this energy comes in, when this check arrives at your doorstep, you've already convinced yourself that it was over. You already convinced yourself that it didn't work, there's no more money there, it's all dried up, and you've already kind of accepted that, you know, it's done. This is a card of defeat. Okay? This is the card that's saying, whatever potentially was there is not there anymore. Okay? And so it may be that you already kind of, like, you know, you wrote it off the books. You wrote it off in your accounting. You said, well, I can't count on that anymore. Okay? And that's, this is a belief that you have about that, okay? At the same time, this is that card that also is kind of like you're feeling discouraged, because it's like you tried to do something, and I don't know if you feel like you got scammed, or you feel like somebody like saw it and they decided not to pay you for it or something like that, right? This is that feeling of being devalued. It's not so much about the money. It's about what it does to your self-esteem, what it does to your confidence, okay? And it's kind of the way that you talk to yourself. I'm no good, and no one's going to pay me to do that, and I wouldn't pay me to do it either, and kind of feeling that we suck, you know? Kind of feeling like, well, it must just be a reflection of my value. I must not be worth anything, and all that nonsense. Okay? Because I feel like this return energy is really going to change the way you think about yourself. It's gonna remind you, right, that your work is valuable, that what you're doing, what you're contributing, whatever your gift is to the world, is worth being compensated for. Okay, this is a very rough internal dialogue. Okay, and I think that this really the beginning here with the Knight, right? The real beginning is you recognizing the true value of what you have to offer either this company or this other or the world or society or your community or whatever, right? Or YouTube. I don't know if you're doing YouTube videos, whatever it is, your music, your art, your business, your arts and crafts. I don't know. Okay. So that to me feels like not only does this this influx of money really relieve some financial stress, but it also reminds you of your self-worth, reminds you that what you're doing in life, what you're offering the world is valuable. And that to me feels like the real win, okay? This is a jackpot on multiple levels. The Queen of Swords in the background, this is an ending. This is you logically and objectively looking at something and thinking, it's over, and it didn't work, and that's that. And I didn't get paid for it because it sucked, it was terrible. You know? So this is kind of like, you know, the way you're processing an ending. And you're trying not to really be too emotional over it. You're trying to just say, well, no point in getting upset about it. The facts are the facts. It was terrible, and it didn't work out, and I didn't get you know, what I wanted to get for it. Or it could be in a way like you submitted something like your manuscript to a publisher or something like this. And you kind of like a certain amount of time went by and you said, okay, well, looking at it objectively, it must have just been a really terrible manuscript and they don't want it, and that's that. No big deal. Okay? Kind of trying to separate yourself from that emotion. But it's there, you know, that like that disappointment, that sadness is there. But I feel like you're somebody who kind of tries to just say, well, no, it's just the fact of the matter. No point getting upset about it. It's just the way it is, you know. I think you're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. Because it's not the ending, but this is something that you already kind of scrapped the plan. You already said, okay, well, that's not going to work. That didn't work. You already wrote it off. But then here it is kind of beginning. It's coming in a surprise way, okay? So I like that. The ending then is being sort of revealed as the beginning of something else. The Hierophant up top is perfect up here, because this shows that you really have the knowledge, the wisdom, the expertise, okay? And I think that it shows that you do have what it takes to be professional at this, like whatever it might be for you. I don't know what it is. But the Hierophant is the one that has kind of earned the right to get paid for what they're doing. It's not just an amateur. Okay, so I feel like this is really like, this is your true confidence, feeling as if what you do has value. And we're not just talking money either, you know. This is somebody who believes in themselves, believes that they have something that the world would want to receive. That's what the Hierophant does, right? Kind of passes on the sacred teaching. You can't be a good teacher if you don't believe that you know anything. It's like, I don't know anything. I can't teach other people, you know. And so this might have something to do with that, but I feel like this is the recognition of your own value, worth, experience. Okay? The recognition of what it is that you truly are offering. And believing that it's worth something, that it's valuable. Okay? And this is right here at the top of the path of the dove. I feel like this is what matters to you more than the money. Is the feeling like you're actually like, I don't know, good at something, you know? And so I wonder what this is for you. Leave a comment and let me know what this could be about for you. And this could be, I mean, literally, it could be something about teaching, it could be something about information or like writing or books or something like this. It could be an art form, it could be your role in a company or position. Maybe you went for an audition or you went for a promotion, you thought you didn't get it. You asked for a raise and they said no. And you said, yeah. Well, you know, it is what it is. I think they're calling you back and saying, you know what? Wait a minute. I made a mistake. you know? And I think it's really going to do wonders for your bank account, but it's going to do a lot for your self-esteem and a lot for your kind of like stature. You're like, yeah, you know what? I am worth something. I do deserve all the good stuff. I do deserve all the abundance, you know? It's going to change the way you feel about yourself. 5 of Cups in the future position. 5 of Cups is usually a card of sadness. It's a card that says something should be there, but it's not there, okay? And I feel that, you know, this is, just as with our 5 of Swords, this is the heart and the mind that are really, like, twisted up about it, okay? I had to take a sip of my coffee. A big shout out to everybody that's been doing the Buy Me a Coffees lately. There's been a lot of that coming in, and I really appreciate it. I literally buy coffee with that money, too. Anyway, the heart and the mind in this kind of turmoil. There's mental stress, there's emotional stress, okay? I think that this situation, the way it's developing for you, is going to alleviate that stress in a very practical way. You're getting the money that you need to pay the bills. Perfect. I think it's also then kind of helping your self-esteem. It's reinforcing that idea that, hey, you are valuable. There is something that you have to offer the world. And you do deserve all the good stuff in life, all the abundance, okay? So it's something that's going to change your mind and change your heart, right? About kind of like, about what you're doing and, you know, about your, like, your right to do it. You know what I mean? Because the fives are all numbers of change. And the number 5 is associated with the planet Mars. And Mars is all force and fire and will, right? And so this is something that is kind of changing your mind, changing your heart. And I think this is kind of what it changes into over here. Okay? This is a situation that is going to kind of really shift, big shift, in how you think and feel about yourself and about what you're doing in life and about the road that you're on. You're getting that unexpected compensation that's going to reinforce. Spirit's here to say you're on the right road. And I think this is going to open doors on that road for you. Okay. Now, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, please. Path of the Serpent, General Energy, Emperor. This is the boss now. Now it's like you have some pride in what you're doing. Now you feel like, yeah, I deserve to be here. Yep. Maybe this is about you getting that promotion or taking some kind of a leadership role, but whatever this is, even if this is like you put your, you know, you try to like put your music out there or something, and now you're actually like, somebody actually bought it, and you're like, wow, okay, cool. Like somebody bought my CD, you know. I don't know if we still have CDs, do we? I think so. But this is now like that kind of pride. And this is about you having the strength and showing that fortitude to protect now what you're doing. And to do it more, to do it better, to be stronger and more confident doing it. Very often the Emperor is a card of protection. Okay, and I feel that this is something that you realize is powerful in your life. This skill or ability or this, I don't know if it's like a business or whatever you're doing. It's a very powerful thing. And I think it's now become your role to protect it. You know, to kind of, to safeguard it, to make sure that it continues to function in the right way. You're taking ownership of this. But really, like, this is a big shift. I mean, a huge shift from over here. Every card we have here is a direct, like, you know, a direct shift from what we have over here. Okay? With the, you know, with the 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords, turning that into an Emperor, a Magician, and love and abundance, I mean, that's perfect. That is a wonderful shift. So this, you know, so-called extra income is really going to change your life in a lot of ways. And it may not be a really huge amount. It's enough to help you pay the bills, but then it's also enough to kind of make you think like, hey, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I can keep doing this. Maybe I can scale this up, you know. The emperor as the entrepreneur. The emperor as the one that says, okay, if I did it a little bit and somebody paid for it, I need to now like mass produce it. Maybe this is something like a craft, maybe it's on Etsy, maybe it's your YouTube channel, or whatever it is, your music. Kind of like, you know, it's that business owner that's saying, I know that I've got something that people want. And I believe in this product or this service. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to sell it to people because I know people are going to want it. You believe in what you're doing. And you believe, obviously, that you deserve to get paid for it. That you deserve that compensation. So I feel like this is kind of, maybe it's the moment where you kind of go professional. You're taking it seriously now. And you have that self-respect and the respect for what you're doing. You got to respect the craft, you know. This is beautiful. The magician in the environment, okay, that is, in some ways, that's a salesperson. So I kind of feel like you have the confidence and the leadership, you have the wisdom and the skill to do this, and you need to just package it and do more of it. Okay? So what you're creating has tremendous value. And I think that when you respect it and you take it seriously and you believe that you have the wisdom inside of you, right? This is you kind of like knowing the product or the service. This is you organizing the business, and this is you like packaging that product or service and presenting it to the world. Okay? It's kind of like, you know, you made some lemonade for somebody and they said, well, here, let me give you a quarter for it. And he said, what? Really? And then it kind of inspires you. It's like, well, that quarter, yeah, I mean, I could probably go to the movies and get some popcorn with that quarter. But more than that, it lets you know that, hey, that like you're doing something of value. And that kind of like gives you like this aha moment, you know, that maybe there's something to this. Maybe there is something that can grow from this, okay? The magician is the one who is concerned with appearances and packaging, for one thing. The magician is the lord of business. It's Mercury, right? It's business, it's commerce, it's transactions, it's presentation, it's performance. And this is you out here in the environment. So this is you out there kind of doing it, selling it. Wearing the outfit, wearing the uniform of whatever this is. And you're out there doing it, performing it, building it, crafting it, presenting it, packaging it, you know, all that stuff. You're out there, believing in what you're doing and giving it, transmitting it to the world around you. Okay? And of course, this is also the messenger. This is also kind of a card about, you know, money and finances and transactions and stuff. So it really is reinforcing that this is something unexpected coming in that's going to bring you a financial blessing. But it's also bringing you that realization that you want more of that. You kind of like, you want to do it again. You want to figure out how to scale this up. Okay? So I wonder if the mystery card's going to be the Wheel of Fortune. Seems like it might be. But I think a big idea here is how you then choose to present this to the rest of the world. Okay? Because I think that it's kind of like you've got to refine your craft. You got to hone your skills. Okay? The Two of Cups, that's in the position of the fear, worry, and concern. The fear is, you know, the lack of love. The fear is that the love won't be there. Okay? Whether this is divine love, platonic love, self-love, romantic love, I feel like this is the fear that that what you are putting out there into the world is not going to be received very well. It's not going to connect with anybody. Let alone, you know, nobody's going to like it, let alone pay for it. But you're in for a big surprise. You're in for a very, very big surprise, okay? Because I think that the energy coming in now is going to reinforce this connection. It's going to inspire you, and it's going to remind you that what you're doing does have value. That what you're doing is connecting with people out there. And I don't know if this is music or your business or a service you're providing or whatever it is. I don't know how local this is or how global. I don't know what the scale of it currently is, right? But I know that you're going to feel the love. And so when somebody's willing to pay you for something, it kind of feels like love. It's not about the money. You're not like just greedy, right? It's about like, wow, like you actually value that enough that you're willing to pay me. You're like, that's crazy, you know? And I think that it feels amazing. I mean, trust me, I know the feeling of like, you know, when somebody's willing to offer you compensation for something that you didn't expect any compensation for, that you didn't feel was worthy of any kind of compensation. It really is a big shift in the way you sort of view the world, the way you feel about yourself and about like the craft and about what you're doing. Maybe you're a YouTube tarot reader. Maybe you do music, or you do some sort of crafting, or it's Etsy, or it's, well, I don't know, whatever it is. You're writing a book. It's your poetry. I don't know. I feel like this is something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it. Okay? But I think something happened where like you tried to get paid for it and somebody said no, or you didn't think it was going to happen, and so you got kind of discouraged. But then when they kind of call you and say, hey, I made a mistake, or when you get the check in the mail that you weren't expecting, now this could be still that audition or that job promotion. At first you thought it was a no, and that no kind of makes you feel worthless, right? But I think I don't think it's a no. I think it's a yes. Okay. The 3 of Cups at the end here, that's a card of gratitude. That's a card of abundance. That's a card of love and appreciation. This is a card of you really having the confidence to transmit out to the world whatever is in your heart. Okay. You have the potential to really, I think, to make a huge difference in the world. And having that confidence now to kind of shine your light, really, it's an amazing moment. I feel like this is not only your gratitude for everybody else that is kind of receiving you and your work, but this is like, I think, all the love and appreciation that you're feeling coming back in. I feel like you're being recognized for your talent. I feel that you are recognizing your own talent and your skill and your value. Okay? Very often the 3 of Cups is that card of like celebration or recognition, or somebody like being singled out for some kind of accolades. And I feel like that person is you. I feel like once you already thought this was like nothing gonna happen, suddenly people are celebrating you. And I think that feels uplifting. I think it's really going to change the way you feel about yourself and the way that you choose to go forward with this talent or skill or whatever it is. Let's look at the mystery card. Yeah. Empress, it could be Pentacles, another 9, another 10, maybe a 10 of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Kind of feeling like some water energy, yeah. Let's see. Oh, 4 of Swords, perfect. Because the 5s that we have, anytime we get a 5, right, we start looking for the 4. Because this is turmoil. This is like, I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm questioning what I'm doing. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling discouraged. I'm feeling kind of worthless. I feel kind of crushed by this. It's just, it doesn't feel good. This is the alleviation of that stress. This is saying things have stabilized. Things have calmed down. So I think this is the result both of that financial income that's coming, right? That's going to relieve some stress, as well as kind of the meaning behind it, the gesture of kind of like coming back and paying you for something. That gesture makes you feel appreciated and valued, makes you feel like what you're doing is worth something, and that, I think, is kind of stabilizing a lot of this mental and emotional turbulence that we feel. And so this seems to be really the perfect mystery card, because it shows, it shows maybe the transition between the path of the dove and the path of the serpent. Okay, that this situation, this surprise message, is going to help to really relieve some stress, both in a very practical, real-world sense, like you're going to get to, to catch up on a bill or a rent payment or something like that. But it's also going to kind of stabilize your internal kind of dialogue, and it's going to help you to balance things out. Yeah, I like that. I think that's really, really fantastic. We're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. There is a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description down below. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. Okay? New readings for Sagittarius Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.